Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasaṅkappa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasaṅkappa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasaṅkappa. Good evening, everyone. We are learning Sammāsaṅkappa, right view, Sammāsaṅkappa's right view. So in the Sammāsaṅkappa, 60 headings are mentioned. So those 60 types are analyzed by way of Four Noble Truths. By way of Four Noble Truths. So among 60 headings in this sutta, all are already stated in the dependent origination, paticcasamuppada, as the 12 factors, except following fours. So 12 factors are already stated under dependent originations, but following fours are not stated. Number one, karma. So even this one already studied in the sila session. In other, we can even add this one, sankhara under sankhara. So karma, as you all know, that is a sankhara. The next one is nutriment, āhāra. This one is new for you. Another one is suffering. For this one also already analyzed under the Four Noble Truths. And the last one is taints. So actually we have learned about taints under Nibbana topic. So we have a 3 type of taints, sometimes 4 type of taints. So today we will talk about number 2, starting from number 2, because number 1 we already talked about it. Number 3, we don't need to talk about it, suffering. Suffering is one of the 4 Noble Truths. And taints we already learned, so we don't need to talk about it. Only number 2, nutriment. So we have 4 nutriments. So the word āhāra, nutriment in English, means that which sustained by action as a strong supporting condition. Something that support strongly. So we have 4 nutriments in this sutta, and they are special nutriments or special food or special fuels for rising of craving. Actually, this is a very important one. So these are special food and special fuels for the rising of craving. For that reason, the Buddha emphasized importance of 4 nutriments. We must know 4 nutriments for those who are learning advanced teachings of the Buddha. Especially when you want to attain Nibbana. So you must know the 4 nutriments because they are special food for the rising of craving. So although there are other conditions for the rising of craving for beings, so only these 4 alone are called nutriments because they nourish or bring forth their own effects for the continuation of both biological and mental lives. So they are called nutriments because they are so special for the bringing forth their own effect for the continuation of biological or mental lives, or physical or mental lives. In other words, they are very important for the rising of craving. We have to be very mindful when we have a 4 nutriments in life. Number 1, eatable food, Cakkapala āhāra. Cakkapala āhāra. It is a nutriment or a special condition to sustain our physical body. We have to eat food. Everything that you eat food, it brings forth cluster of matters in our body, for our body. Sometimes, even though you are not eating, sometimes you may need to draft in the hospital, right? So the food can go through to your body through the draft. So sometimes when you are in the mother's womb, so whatever mother eat, you sustain with it. So that is also considered as a eatable food. Even though you're not eating, it sustains your body, physical body. It is important to be mindful when we are eating the food, because it is a special food or a special nutriment or a special cause for the rising of craving. If you are not mindful, the craving easily will arise, and like and dislike will come. Quite natural, quite natural. If we are mindful, there's no like and dislike. So for that reason, the Buddha suggests that the monks, when we are eating, we have to contemplate the nature of food while we are eating the food. Not for the physical strength, not for the beauty, but to sustain our body, to continue walk. That's all. Patisenga yoni so, penapadam patisiwami, etc. So actually, we have to, before we eat the food, we have to contemplate on that. Otherwise, it will be the food or the cause for the rising of craving. Actually, in one of the sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, so the Buddha gives how to eat the food. Actually, I have already stated, right? A mother and father, a young baby are going on a trip. They have to cross the desert, very hot, and they have limited food. Halfway, their food exhausted, ran out. Then they are very thirsty, they are very hungry, but on their hand, there is a infant, a baby. So they think that if they go like this, so three of them will die halfway because they don't have food, no nutriment. Then the parents decided to kill their own baby, and they dry the flesh of their own baby. So they left their own baby, but because they need to survive, for the survival, and they dry the flesh of the baby, and they sustain with it. And the Buddha said that when they are eating the flesh of their own baby, no craving, right? No craving. But they cry. When they are eating, they cry because we need to survive. For that reason, we have to kill you. But do you think that is there any craving for eating such the flesh of a baby? No. Just like that. So when we are eating the food, we have to do the same thing. No like and dislike. Because you eat the food because it is necessary for survival. That's all, That's all. But of course, this is the highest type of mindfulness. It's not really easy, But for those who want to attain the bliss of Nibbana, we have to do that. You have to be very mindful. If you like the food, that is lobha. If you don't like the food, dosa. You have a lobha and dosa because you are ignorance, moha, So the root of such defilements, like and dislike, is a moha. Actually, we are talking about advanced teachings, not really easy. That is called eatable food. So the Buddha gave the simile of the flesh of a baby, And second one is a contact. It is a nutriment for feeling. Because we have a contact, because of that we have a feeling or sensation. It brings forth three kinds of feeling: pleasant sensation, unpleasant sensation, and neither pleasant or unpleasant. Actually here feeling, as I earlier said, that is not a emotional aspect of mind. It is just experience of your body, contact. Sensation of your body. When you have a hot season, when you go under the very hot sun, you will have a hot sensation. So when you are living in a cold season, your body will sense, cold sensation. There's no like and dislike at that particular moment, So for that reason, anyone will have vindlana, or sensation or experience, whether the Buddha or Arahant. So in this contact is very important. It is a nutriment for the rising of feeling. So if you are not mindful, it will bring forth craving. So that is contact is very important. So contact, you may have a pleasant contact or unpleasant contact. It doesn't matter, but you have to be very mindful. Actually, we have learned in the Nibbana originations. And third one is mental volition. Mano tinsidana āhāra. Mental volition is nothing but saṅkhāra in Nibbana originations. It is a nutriment for consciousness. So for that reason, I think without learning Nibbana origination, it's hard to understand. So we have learned that because of ignorance, saṅkhāra arises. Saṅkhāra is a karma. Because of those karma, you have a consciousness, especially in the new life, new existences. So mental volition or motivation is very important in our life because it will bring forth consciousness. If we are not mindful, then mental volition will bring a lot of rebirth in consciousness in the many existences. So mental volition is one of the nutriment the Buddha emphasized. If we are not mindful, it will bring forth craving in our life. And the last one is a consciousness. As you all know that in Nibbana originations, because of consciousness, mind and body will arise. So when you have a consciousness, it's very important to be mindful. It is a nutriment for the arising of the compound of mind and body. If there is craving for 4 nutriments, whatever nutriment you have, you experience, we cannot break. If there is a craving, we cannot break the chains of the wheel of life or samsara. We cannot escape from the whole mass of suffering. So actually, the Buddha, the Buddha singled out a topic under āhāra or nutriment because they are important for the arising of craving. Wherever nutriment you experience, you are encountering, it's very important to be mindful. and clear comprehension. Sati and sampajana. Otherwise, craving easily will arise. Think about your food, right? Normally, when we are eating food, a lot of like and dislike. A lot of like and dislike. It's normal, you know? But here, we have to be very mindful to differentiate two kinds of food. If you are stealing the food of other people and enjoying it, it is unwholesome, akusala. But you enjoy your own food, it is also not good, the original suffering. So if you like it, of course it's pleasant. If you don't like it, unpleasant, it's suffering. So two levels. If you are stealing the food of other people, it's akusala. It will bring you unwholesome destinations. But for those who want to attain the bliss of Nibbana, even you don't have to enjoy your own food. You have to eat the food for the sake of surviving. That's all. Okay, any question? Okay. Oh, let me finish this one, and then you can ask. As I earlier said that this sutta analyze 60 topics by way of 4 noble truths. But here, nutriment is suffering. Number 2, the original nutriment is a craving. The cessation of nutriment is Nibbana. The way leading to cessation of nutriment is the Noble Eightfold Path. So if you are on the Noble Eightfold Path, you are the way to the cessation of nutriment by way of 4 noble truths. Okay, question?
Bhante, when you were talking about the contemplation, especially that you gave the story about the parents eating the flesh of the child, if you're doing that sort of contemplation, it means that whilst you're eating, you've got to do it in silence, right?
You're right.
Because normally, socially, when we have food with company, we like to talk.
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
So the other thing is that Christians, before they have their meal, they always say grace, right? What do Buddhists say?
Yeah, very good question. Actually, when we are eating at the meditation retreat, there's no talking, right? There's no talking. That's important because need to contemplate. So actually, it is not a practice for a Buddhist monk, especially Buddhist monk, to talk when they are eating. But normally, most monks they talk. They are not following advice of the Buddha. Not supposed to talk. As I said that for lay people, it's all right to talk. It depends on their like and dislike. Some people will, actually only a few people will follow not to talk during their meal. But as a practitioner of Buddhism, serious practitioner of Buddhism, especially during your meditation retreat, no talking. Have to contemplate. So you are not eating. Actually, it's beautiful. Recently, I watched a movie. The Buddhists meditate in, I think, Ukraine or one of the countries in Soviet Union. So they contemplate that Pali, the Buddha suggested in Pali. As I earlier said that Patisengayoni so Penapadam Patisivami. So actually, the meaning is actually when we encounter that lines, and I will talk about it. So it is very often mentioned in the suttas. So just like a so we are eating not for the beauty, you know. We are eating not for the physical strength, but for surviving, you know, surviving. Sometimes you may see the monks very strong, you know, with a strong body. Actually, it's not very not in according with the Buddhist teachings. We have to realize this. So we eat the food and we do exercise just for surviving, not for the beauty. But regarding with the talking, as a normal Buddhist, as a normal eco-Buddhist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But if you are practicing meditation, you don't have to do that. You have to eat silently, contemplating. I'm not eating the food for the beauty, for the physical strength. I'm eating for the surviving and to continue for the welfare of many people like this. Okay. It's important to differentiate. For that reason, today I'm seeing a soda called Pansudovana soda, the removal of the soil removal. So we have a different level of defilements. I think not this week. Next week we will learn it. Very beautiful soda. So when we are learning a teaching, so we have to know, you know, step at different stages. As a lay person, you don't need to follow like the monks. So that's a different level, right? Different level. And then even today you will understand that. Question? Any question? Okay.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about something. Now, you see, when monks go for alms round, they have to eat whatever that's offered to them.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Now, in Thailand, I understand that many monks are becoming obese because, you know, people give them a lot of food and they have to eat whatever that's given. Now, what I'm curious about is if, you know, monks are supposed to accept whatever that's given, and if they put on weight or you know, become unhealthy, are monks allowed to exercise? Because I've never seen monks, you know, like jogging. I've seen, you know, like Catholic priests, pastors, you know, they do exercise. But I've never seen monks doing that. So do monks exercise?
Yeah, you're right. It's a good question. Main question is the monk can exercise, right? Actually, going for Panapada is safe, it's exercise. One thing, right? One thing. But as I earlier said, that if a monk is exercising for his own health, for the survivor, it's good. Nothing wrong with this. But must be very appropriate way. Suppose if the monk is doing exercise, running or maybe lifting the weight, right? Then he will have a very strong, you know, muscle, you know, like the body is very fit. Actually, it is not the way, you know. So we have to, as I earlier said, that we eat the food for the surviving, to continue our walk, right? Then regarding with the exercise, so in Cakkapala Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 22, the Buddha suggested to the monks to eat only one meal a day. Many places, the Buddha suggests, it's not a rule, it's important. It's not a winner rule. The Buddha suggestion, you know. The Buddha said that if you eat only one meal a day, is one thing. Another one is you are sitting down for eating food, not moving any place. You eat only sitting in one place, you know, like this. basically is the 1 meal a day. So if you are eating 1 meal a day, you will be very healthy and you will be very light, very light. So the monks will not be obese, right? Like it. Yeah. You will see many monks who are very fat. No, actually we have a saying. The monks have to be very thin, you know. The monks have to be very thin. If the monk is obese, right? Obese or fat, something wrong with this. Something wrong. Have to do exercise. But when they do exercise, it's very important. They exercise just for their health, for surviving, not for the beauty, you know. Not for the, you know, the masse like this. We can do that. We can do exercise, but I didn't come across any the monks at the time of the Buddha do exercise, but they go Binapada, then they travel a lot. So in this way, they're very healthy. They are fit. That's all I did. So the purpose is very important, right? Purpose is very important. Okay. You please use the microphone.
Bhante, even now when monks go on alms round, they feel they have sufficient food. Can they just cover the alms bowl, not to accept any more food further?
Yeah, it's good. So actually, the monks normally stay with a lot of monks and also a lot of kapiyas, a lot of people at the monasteries. But of course, they can accept or they can receive a lot of food. But if the monks stay in the forest, have to receive only certain amount. Yeah, the main point is moderation in food. So there is a practice. So the monks, before he go Binapada, he decided to go only maybe about 5 or 6 houses. Then he will go, you know. Even though he didn't receive any food, and he skipped the food on that day. That is a very serious practice, you know. Serious practice. So the main thing is the food is or nutriment or the cause for the rising of craving. So whatever practice we follow, the main purpose must be to reduce or the possibility for the rising of craving. That's the main thing. So for that reason, the Buddha talk about 4 type of nutriments. So they are important for the rising of craving. So wherever nutriments we are experiencing, so we have to be very mindful. Okay, so next one. We'll skip the other one, right? The other one. So the Buddha will talk about suffering. So we have a suffering dukkha, the original suffering. So in that sutta, and the cessation of suffering and the way that lead to cessation of suffering. Actually, this is it talk about 4 noble truths. So the heading, the topic is suffering. Another one is aging and death. Aging and death. So actually we have already stated in already learned in the Dipana originations. Then it go on like the birth and the how to say the cause of the birth is a existence. So the cause of existence is a clinging. So the cause of for the arising of clinging is craving. Like this, it's go up to the ignorance, right? Ignorance. Normally, when we learn dependent originations, we started with the ignorance, right? We start with the ignorance. Because of ignorance and sankhara arise, karma formation or volitional formation. Because of that, consciousness arise. It goes like this. We call it arising aura, anuloma. But now, in this sutta, so the Buddha talk about cessation aura. Patiloma. Starting from suffering. Suffering, you have a lot of suffering because the cause is aging and death. And the cause of aging and death is a path. And the cause of path is a existence. It go, cessation aura, reverse aura. The best way is reverse aura. So what we learn is a direct aura. Thank you. So, as we have learned in dependent originations, we don't need to talk about it, right? Then if you read the sutta, it will be clear. But next one here, normally dependent origination start with the avijjā or ignorance. So people may think that ignorance is the cause of everything. It's not like this. So if you look at this sutta, para number 66, you will know that avijjā is not the first cause. There is no the first cause in Buddhism. Actually, in many religions, they point out their first cause is the Creator God. So the God created everything. So the God is the first cause. But in Buddhism, there's no the first cause because it is beginningless samsara. You cannot see the first cause of everything. You cannot see the beginning of samsara. Beginningless. Anamataka. So when you learn this sutta, so you will have a reference for that. Avijjā is not the first cause. Then you will see this one. With the arising of taints, the taints, asava, there is the arising of ignorance. So when you see this line, so avijjā is not the first cause, but it also arises because of something. So something is the taints. So we have three types of taints according to this sutta. In Abhidhamma, in some places, in Abhidhamma, 4 taints. So, suppose the first one is a kammasava, the taints of sensual pleasure. So when you experience sensual pleasures, there is like and dislike. So because of ignorance or avijjā. If you have ignorance, then there will be like and dislike, lobha and dosa. So here, the origin of ignorance or the origin of arising of avijjā is 4 taints or 3 taints. 4 taints or 3 taints, asava. So when you look at this one, particular line, so you understand that avijjā is not the first cause. So it also has the cause. The cause is the 4 taints or 3 taints. With the cessation of the taints, there is cessation of ignorance. So actually, arahant is called, if somebody attain the knowledge of destruction of taints. If somebody destroy all type of taints, called arahant or the Buddha. So with the cessation of the taints, there is cessation of ignorance. For that reason, arahant and the Buddha, they don't have any ignorance. So even Nuratana, Anagami, so they still have ignorance in their mind. So if somebody destroy or remove all type of taints in their mind, there's no ignorance. That is what the Buddha is saying. So the way leading to cessation of ignorance is just this Noble Eightfold Path. That is right view, right intention, etc. If you want to stop all type of taints, so you have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. And what I want to highlight here is, so the Buddha Venerable Sariputta analyzed 60 headings, 60 topics under the light of the Noble Eightfold Path. Four Noble Truths. Here, the origin of ignorance is three types of taints. And cessation of ignorance is a nibbana. Ignorance itself is a suffering. And Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path is the way that leads to cessation of ignorance. So we have to analyze in that way. Ignorance is a suffering. And the cause of ignorance is the three types of taints. And Nibbana is cessation of ignorance. And the path is the Noble Eightfold Path. So we have to analyze in such a way. Okay, you might think that three types of taints are the first causes. No, not like this. The taints are also not the first causes. So what is the cause of taints? And the Buddha said in the para number 70. With the arising of ignorance, there is the arising of taints. So when you look at here, the origin of arising of the taints is ignorance. They are just like a circle, because of that happened, because of that this happened. So as long as we do not practice, as long as we cannot practice the Noble Eightfold Path, we cannot break that chain. It's going like this, right? So 3 or 4 taints are also not the first causes. Their cause is ignorance. Actually, ignorance also not the first cause. It also have a lot of causes. Sometimes because of taints, sometimes because of hindrances. In one of the sutta, the Buddha said, so the cause of ignorance is 5 hindrances. Like this, it's go like this. It is circle. We call it bhavacchaka, circle of life, or in samsara. If you cannot practice the Noble Eightfold Path, then you cannot stop it. It will go one life after another. With the cessation of ignorance, there is cessation of taints. The way leading to cessation of the taints is just this, the Noble Eightfold Path. So you will see that the Noble Eightfold Path are very important, very important. Question? No. Okay. Question.
Hi, Bhante. If we look at taint, the sensual pleasure, it's also because of craving. And craving also comes because of the ignorance of going after the sensual pleasure. So indirectly, I think the question is not whether what is the first cause, whether is it ignorance or taint. I think it's like asking a question whether chicken comes first or the egg comes first. Am I right to say that? So it's just like Buddha don't answer the question how earth come about, how the world come about. Is that what you meant?
I think you're right, because whether chicken can first or
nobody can answer that question as well.
There's not the first cause. is
Yep.
the beginningless samsara.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, samsara is the combination of mind and body. So we
I
cannot
think
say
the condition as well
Yeah,
that
you're right.
will
Mm.
actually affect which one you presume that comes first.
yeah. No, not the first cause. It's
But,
descent.
but perceive as in the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like you perceive that it's ignorant, or you could perceive that it's
In
the
this
craving.
case, it is a very good to know. In science, they always say the universe come into form and disappear and come into form. So actually, it's very similar to Buddhist interpretation of the world, you know. But here, the world here means not only the physical phenomena, it's also mental one as well. So there's no beginning. Some people, scientists normally say that Big Bang, you know, Big Bang started this universe. But now they are starting before the Big Bang, you know, like this. So according to Buddhism, even before the Big Bang, there will be many universe or come into existence and disappear, and come into existence, disappear. This is the nature of the world. In this case, it's very similar to Buddhist interpretation. Now, of course, there will be many differences as well. Okay, so let's summarize the sutta. The sutta is very long. As I earlier said, that this sutta is important for understanding what is the right view. But here, that's my summaries, not taught by the commentaries. In short, Sammaditthi Sutta shows right views on the following things. A different type of right view. Number one, right view regarding with wholesome and unwholesome karmas and their root. So wholesome karma as a wholesome karma, you have a right view or right understanding. Wholesome karma as a wholesome karma, unwholesome karma as a unwholesome karma, and also you understand the root of them. Suppose killing is not good, that is unwholesome. So you have a right understanding and right view that killing is not good. If you know that, that's the right view. Stealing is not good, that's unwholesome. So if you have a understanding and if you have a view or perception that stealing is not good, or telling lies is not good, sexual misconduct is not good, etc. So if you have such understanding, that's the right view. Sometimes you may have a doubt whether it is right view, is right to have, you know, like this, you know. As I earlier said, last week said that businessmen, they always think that telling lie in the business unavoidable. No. That is wrong view, you know. If you want to be a good person, have to avoid it. And also wholesome, you know, wholesome things as a wholesome. Dana is good, giving is good. But if you think that giving is good, that's the right view. If you think that giving is not good, that's the wrong view. And sila, controlling your bodily and verbal actions, is good. That's the right view. If you think that, no, we don't need to control, just enjoy life. So that is the wrong view, you know, that's wrong view. Meditation is not necessary, wrong view. Not good, wrong view, no? So, like this, but the first level wholesome karma as a wholesome karma, you'll be right understanding or right view. Unwholesome karma as a unwholesome karma. And lobha, dosa, moha, the root of unwholesome. And alobha, adosa, amoha, the root of wholesome, like this. So you have to, if you have such a right view and right understanding and right perception, that's called right view, samadhi. The first level. Second level is getting height, Four Noble Truths. So you understand suffering as a suffering, the original suffering as the original suffering. Getting higher, getting higher. Then cessation of suffering as a cessation of suffering. And the path as the path. That's Four Noble Truths. Normally, when you are living, so in the first sermon, the Buddha said that living with the people who you do not like is suffering. No? Suffering. Then you have a understanding that suffering as a suffering, So when you are associating with the people you don't like, you're very mindful, clear comprehend. That's all. So there's no suffering at all. You are on the path, You're practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. As long as you're on the path, not suffering. And sometimes you depart or living with someone you like, you love. Separation with them is suffering. The Buddha said that. But you understand suffering as a suffering. But if you are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, right view, right intention, then there's no suffering in your mind. Like this. So it's getting higher, getting higher. Craving, is much more higher. Actually, we have learned craving in deeper. The next one is dependent originations. It's getting higher because to understand dependent originations, in other words, relationship between the cause and effect, how the effect arises. Let's talk about dependent originations. It's getting higher. So if you understand, if you have a right view regarding with the dependent originations, so that will be right view in Sammāsaṅkappa. So I think we can analyze on three topics and on three categories. The first one is busy one, karma. The second one, Four Noble Truths. And third one, even more tougher to understand. So, but here, if we summarize right view in this soda, so we can understand in three categories. Karma, Four Noble Truths, dependent originations. So if you understand that, it's easier for you to read the soda. So I want you to read the soda again, so that you will have a clear understanding. Question? Okay, no question. Interwoven one another. You see, actually, the copy from Bhante book, The Noble Eightfold Path, is a small book published by Buddhist Publication Society from Sri Lanka. In that book, Bhante said that the last of the Four Noble Truths is the Noble Eightfold Path. We have Four Noble Truths, so the last one is the Noble Eightfold Path. Why the first factor of the Noble Eightfold Path is the right view. Right view. Samadhi that we have learned. So right view is the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. So here, the last one of the Four Noble Truths is the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path. And the first of them, right view, is understanding the Four Noble Truths. So they are linking each other, they are interwoven one another. Thus, the two principles penetrate and include one another. The formula of the Four Noble Truths containing the Noble Eightfold Path and the Noble Eightfold Path containing the Four Truths. So they are interwoven. No? Then he said that the essence of Buddha's teachings can be summed up into two principles. Number one, Four Noble Truths. Number two, the Noble Eightfold Path. So wherever you say, they include each other. When you talk about Four Noble Truths, and the last one contain the Noble Eightfold Path. When you talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, the first one, right view, is the understanding the Four Noble Truths. And he said that the first covers, that means the Four Noble Truths, the first cover the side of doctrine. The side of doctrine. For that reason, the Buddha talk about Four Noble Truths in the first sermon, because it's doctrine. Doctrine is important as far as doctrine teaching is concerned. And the primary response it elicits is understanding. So that means when you are learning the Four Noble Truths, understanding. You must understand suffering, the cause of it, cessation of suffering, and the path. That's the doctrine. You must understand this link, cause and effect. The second one means the Noble Eightfold Path. Second covers the side of discipline. In the broadest sense of that word, the primary response it calls for is practice. So that means when you talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, you have to practice it. You must understand Four Noble Truths as a cause and effect. Because of it, that happened. And you must understand dependent originations. That's a doctrine. The same thing, whether Four Noble Truths or dependent originations, you must understand it. But regarding with the Noble Eightfold Path, you have to practice. For that reason, it is the path. Okay, so now I hope you understand what is the right view. What is the right view? According to Magga analysis, Vibhanga-sutta, right view means understanding Four Noble Truths, because it talk about the way to Nibbana. But when we learn grade 40, Mahācattarīsaka-sutta, and also when we learn Sammaditthi-sutta, so we understand even the right view, it has two levels, mundane and supramundane. So if you are following the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, if you are following the Noble Eightfold Path, accompanied by craving or taints. If you are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path for the sake of gaining merit, if you are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path just to get a good rebirth, that is mundane right view. But if you are following the Noble Eightfold Path to remove all type of taints or all type of craving, not just to get merit, based on three type of right intention. Now the next topic is the right intention. If you are doing something based on three type of right intention, that is a supramundane one. You are not expecting a good rebirth. So when you're doing dharana, as I earlier said that, looking at the recipients. So by this something you share, he may be well and happy. He may sustain with the food you share. Then you do dana. Then you keep precept. You refrain from telling lie, not because you want to get married, but because you respect other people. You don't want to harm other people's life by telling lie, etc. You refrain from killing, not because you want to get married or you want to get a good rebirth, but you refrain from killing because you have a compassion and loving kindness toward the other fellow beings or living beings. Actually here, the cause is not craving. The cause is the loving kindness or compassion. Because of that, you refrain from telling lie or killing, etc. You do not steal the property of other people, not because you want to get married, but because you do not steal because you have a compassion and sympathy that people will not like it, they will suffer. Because of that, because out of compassion or sympathy, you refrain from stealing. So wherever you do, you are action is based on right intention. If you are doing something based on right intention, so that will be supramundane one. Actually, dividing or supramundane or mundane, it depends on craving. It depends on lobha, dosa, moha. That's all, Lobha, dosa, moha is easiest way, to define whether it is a mundane or supramundane. If you do some good deed because of lobha, sometimes you do good deed because of dosa. Sometimes you do good deed because of moha. So lobha, dosa, moha may be the cause of your good deed. It is mundane, it's mundane. Then you do good deed based on three types of right intention. That will be supramundane one. So in Vibhanga-sutta, Magga-sanyutta, and the Buddha said that. And what bhikkhus is right intention? Number one, intention of intention of renunciation, nekkhamma. Number two, intention of non-ewe, saṅkappa. Number three, intention of harmlessness, saṅkappa. This is called right intention. If you are doing something based on right view and right intention, that is called supramundane one. Question? Because sometimes we may do good deed, we may do dana and keep precept and do meditation because of craving. It stay good, mundane good deed. I'm not saying it is not good. It is good, it's mundane one. Because mundane lokiya is a, connected with the suffering. Not good. But supramundane one is you are trying to abandon or remove all type of suffering. If you are doing with the right view and three type of right intention, that will be supramundane one. So here, what is right intention or right thought? So we have three type of right thought or right intention. Number one, renunciation. Number two, non-ewe. Number three, harmlessness. So we will go one by one. We'll go in detail one by one, don't worry. So even this one, even renunciation with a different level, even the A way or non-A way or harmlessness, a different level. So we will talk about it in using one soda. So before that, then I want to clarify the link between the unwholesome root and three type of right intention. Then I will say that the unwholesome root and the cure for them. Number one, delusion, moha is removed by right view. So that means if you have a right view, there's no delusion in your mind. So quite opposite. So if you have a delusion, that means no right view. They cannot stay together, you know. The wisdom and delusion, quite opposite. And greed or lobha is eliminated by intentional right renunciation. Renunciation, in other words, is letting go, what we use, letting go. It's the opposite of greed. If you have a greed, there's no renunciation, there's no letting go. If you have a renunciation and letting go, there's no greed. They cannot stay together. They are opposite. The next one, hatred, is eradicated by intentional non-away or intentional harmlessness. They are opposite. But here, according to some suttas and commentaries, and also according to Abhidhamma, non-away is nothing but loving kindness. And harmlessness is a compassion. So if you have loving kindness and compassion, there's no hatred in your mind. There's no ill will in your mind. So if you have ill will in your mind, no loving kindness, no compassion at all. They are quite opposite. So I think it's easy to distinguish, easy to distinguish. So we have sometimes we call it 3 point things. 3 point things. We have 3 type of cure, right view, renunciation, loving kindness, compassion. These are the cures. So regarding with the 3 type of right intention, we will study one sutta called Dvedhāvitakka-sutta. Majjhima Nikaya, sutta number 90. So in this sutta, the Buddha retold his own struggle to overcome or remove evil thought and to replace them with the wholesome right intentions. So why he would stay only an enlightened being, bodhisattva. He haven't attained any enlightenment, no enlightenment, stay bodhisattva, the Buddha to be. And he actually in Dvedhāvitakka-sutta, the Buddha said that bhikkhus, para number 2, Dvedhāvitakka-sutta, bhikkhus, before my enlightenment, why I would stay only an enlightened bodhisattva. It occurred to me, suppose that I divide my thought or my intention into 2 classes. Then I set on one side thought of sensual desire and thought of ill and the thought of cruelty. And I set on another, the other side, thought of renunciation, the thought of non-awe, and the thought of non-cruelty. So if we look at this soda, so we will understand good and bad side. 3 types of good thought and 3 types of bad thought. So the Buddha divided, Bodhisattva divided his thought or his intention into 2 classes. Number 1, 3 kinds of evil thought or evil intention. Actually here in this soda, Bhikkhu Nyanamoli translate saṅkappa as a thought. Bhikkhu Bodhi use intention. They're the same, you know? They're the same. And other word, we can also use the word attitude. We have our good attitude and bad attitude. We can use. Number 1, the thought of sensual desire or the thought of sensory desire. That is evil thought. Evil thought. Number 2, the thought of evil. Bhyaparāvitakka is evil thought. Number 3, the thought of cruelty. If you are cruel, it's not good. Vitakka. Then Bodhisattva trying to remove these evil thoughts because, and the Sutta said that, because they lead to own affliction, own suffering, and to others' affliction, suffering of others, and to the affliction of both, to the suffering of both. And I think here, when you look at here, own affliction, the affliction of other, and to the affliction of both. This is a 3 criteria to decide whether it is good and bad. If you do something, it's not good for you. It's also not good. If you do something good for other, not good for you. If you do something good for you, not good for other. And not good for both. That's not good. That's not good. For that reason, in early Buddhism, so we have to look at outside as well as inside. For Brahma Vihara, loving kindness and compassion, and also altruistic joy. So when you see living being outside, you have to compassionate, no? You have to practice loving kindness. When people are successful, when they are doing well, you have to practice altruistic joy. But sometimes there is the time to look at yourself. So that we have the limit to practice our loving kindness and compassion. So in those occasions, we have to look at inside. So the inside me, ourselves, to practice equanimity. Practicing equanimity is looking inside, looking yourself. So whatever we do, we have to look at both, you know, outside and inside. So then only it will be good. But here, the Bodhisattva said that the thought of these evil thoughts lead to own affliction, to the other's affliction, to the affliction of both. These are criteria to decide whether good and bad. Obstruct wisdom and cause difficulties and lead away from Nibbana. So for that reason, it's called 3 types of evil thought. And he replaced those evil thoughts with the following 3 wholesome thoughts. Number 1, the thought of renunciation, nekkhamma vitakka. Number 2, the thought of non-awe, abhyaparāvitakka. In other words, it's called loving kindness. And you can look at Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 19, note 236. So Bhikkhu Bodhi mentioned what the commentary said. And also in Abhidhamma also, we can find definition of the non-awe as a loving kindness. and the thought of non-cruelty as the compassion. So these three are called wholesome thought. In other words, we call it right intention, sammāsaṅkappa. Three type of right intention. If you do something based on these three type, that is Subramanian one. Very good, very good. You will not find craving here. No craving at all. No hatred at all. But of course, it might based on right view. When you have a right view, there's no delusion, moha. So we can combine two. Right view, remove delusion. Right intention, remove lobha and dosa. So, Bodhisattva observed that the good thought do not lead to his own afflictions, to others' affliction, and to the affliction of both. They aid wisdom. So if you have three type of right intention, you will have a wisdom. Wisdom will develop and do not cause difficulties, and it will lead to nibbana. Three kinds of wholesome thought, But here, in this order, we can learn that three type of wrong intention, and the thought of sensual desire, and the thought of evil, and the thought of harming, That's a wrong intention. The opposite is called right intention. And the thought of renunciation or letting go, and the thought of non-evil or loving kindness, and the thought of non-harming, harmlessness, or compassion. That's called three type of right intention. Okay, now let's study what is right renunciation. Okay, question.
Bhante, talking about what you call criteria for doing good things, like good for myself, good for others, good for both. But sometimes in the real life we face a problem because the good and no good itself is not like a black and white. Like for example, good to me is not necessarily good for others. Like for example, there's a pretty healthy person, for example, asking for money, for example, on the roadside. Then we want to give. I have a good intentions. I give. Giving is good. Good for me, good for him. But maybe by giving that, it makes the person becomes actually lazy because he's healthy actually. He can actually go and work and do something else. So is giving, in this case, the right thing to do? Or sometimes it's really a decision that needs to be...
Yeah. For that reason, the Buddha say, right view come first. What you say is right, because if you give money, he became very lazy. He will dependent on other people. He will no longer walk. That's the right view. Then do not give. Do not give, Then you are not giving, doesn't mean you crave for your money. Not because of craving you do not give, but because you think that it's not nice to give. Using your right view or right understanding, then you do not share. It's not because of craving, Actually, as you said, that is I pinpoint the importance of three criteria. So normally, there are some time we have to sacrifice our job, or we have to sacrifice our time to do something for other people. But sacrificing our time sometimes is good. We practice letting go or renunciation, because if you do have greed to your time, you will not share, Many people are, they have they don't want to share, they don't have a generosity or renunciation regarding with their time. They don't want to share because of lobha. We sacrifice our time doesn't mean it's not good for me. It doesn't mean it's good because I renounce my time and my effort and my money. So in this way, I'm following the Noble Eightfold Path. I'm practicing the renunciation or letting go. Because in many places, we find 3 criteria.
Bhante, in your summary of right view, you have actually put karma, wholesome, unwholesome, and their roots up before the Four Noble Truths, before the Noble Eightfold Path. Is there any reason why you have put that in that particular order for right view?
Yeah, because the main reason is Venerable Sariputta stated karma first. Because I think karma is, the busy level. Understanding Four Noble Truths, not really easy. So, by understanding the karma or our action is easy. Even the non-Buddhists, they believe that if I do good result will come. If I smile, a person, they will smile me back. Smile at me again, back, like this. So they, even with the commencing, it's easier to know about the karma. So for that reason, then I use karma first, good and bad karma, because it's easier to know. And second, the Four Noble Truths not easy, not easy, and some people even will not accept it. Life is very enjoyable. Why? You say suffering. It's hard to accept it. Hard to accept it. For that reason, understanding Four Noble Truths, maybe after karma. Okay.
Would that be what Buddha would want in terms of understanding right view? Because I think that even in the previous discourse, previous teaching, you have placed right view and the understanding of the Four Noble Truths above everything else. That's something that you must have the right view of.
Yeah. Actually, in one of the sutta, Venerable Sariputta give a simile of the footprint of elephant. So anything can be put into Four Noble Truths, including karma, including the divine originations. We can put anything in the Four Noble Truths. But to make it very clear, we elaborate a little bit. So Venerable Sariputta also trying to expand or elaborate Four Noble Truths under 16 headings, 60 topics. So actually, of course, Four Noble Truths is just like the footprint of elephant. Any footprint of any animals can be put into footprint of the elephant, the biggest. I agree, Four Noble Truths cover everything, but here, to make a better understanding, we're trying to classify into 3 categories. But Samadhi Sutta classify into 60 topics, even wider. As I earlier, before I said that if you have a right view regarding with the karma, you are eco-Buddhist. But if you have a right view regarding with the Four Noble Truths, you are advanced Buddhist. But if you have a right view regarding with the divine originations, even higher. Because, as you all know, divine origination is very difficult. But we have another step according to Abhidhamma, patthana, conditional relations. So if you understand conditional relations, even higher. So it's the highest one. Because Four Noble Truths and divine originations, it talk about cause and effect. Because of it, that happened. Patthana, conditional relation, not only talk about cause and effect, but also talk about how they are related. In which way they are related is even harder to understand. So I think I'm classifying into three categories in Sammaditthi-sutta. The reason is to have a better understanding. Okay, so thank you for all your questions, and we'll go to definition of what is renunciation, nekkhamma. We're trying to understand what is renunciation, nekkhamma. In the graduate discourse, Anubbhava-gatha, renunciation is shown with the following two steps. When the Buddha taught, the Buddha usually used graduate discourse, this method, starting from dana, giving. Giving is good. If you give, you are happy. If you give, you are happy. And also recipient also very happy. Giving is good. Then we have another step. Second step is a sila, moral conduct is good, better than dana, higher than dana. Then if you do dana, and if you keep precept, and you will go to a good destinations, a good rebirth, that's called sakkhagatha, third step. And the fourth one is the Buddha talk about the dangers of sensual desires. When you were born as a human beings, when you were born as a deva in the 6 heavenly realms, you can enjoy sensual pleasures at your delight. But the sensual desires are dangerous if you not keep our mind properly. Even regarding with the food, then if you like it, okay. If you don't like it, hatred. You don't like it at all, you know. The food is essential pleasures, dangerous. So the Buddha will show the danger of the sensual pleasures. The next one, and the Buddha will talk about the profit of renunciation. Renunciation means no lobha. Wherever you see, wherever you hear, smell, eat, touch, whatever, anything, there's no greed or no attachment, no grasping, no clinging. That's called renunciation. If you do practice renunciation, no clinging, no attachment, no grasping, a lot of benefit. If you do not have attachment to the food, no like and dislike, the nutrient, you know. Then if you live in with many people, you don't have any like and dislike. You will talk if necessary. You will associate if necessary. There's no suffering. There's no like and dislike. I don't want to talk to them because I don't like them. Then if I have such hatred or ill will in my mind, not good to talk, you know, suffering to talk. Even to see them, you know, it's suffering. For that reason, There are a lot of profit, a lot of gains when you practice renunciation. If you do not have greed, that's very important. So the Buddha will go in such a way. Earlier the Buddha said dana is good, sila is good. If you do dana, keep precept, you will go to a good destination. Now the Buddha said that going to even the good destination is not good. A lot of dangers, a lot of dangers, So here also, the profit, if you practice letting go or renunciation, there are a lot of benefit. Less suffering. Then, number 6. Number 6 is the Buddha will see the listener. If the listener is the right time, and the Buddha will talk about Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths is used as a sammāsaṅkappa desana, a special teachings of the Buddha. Actually, the Four Noble Truths, sammāsaṅkappa desana, the teachings of special teachings of the Buddhas. All the Buddhas. So that will be the graduate discourse. So in this graduate discourse, the renunciation is used with the 2 levels. Of course, it is a number 5. Actually, number 5 is the renunciation. But before that, the Buddha will talk about the danger of sensual desires. So there are a lot of danger in sensual desires. If you do not attach to them, if you are able to renounce, if you are able to practice letting go, then that will be renunciation. But here, sensual desire here means something to see, something to hear, smell, eat, touching, touch your body. These are called sensual desires. So they are dangerous if you cannot keep your mind properly, especially to quality, mindfulness, and clear comprehension. That's the first definition. Another one is found Kilesa Sanyota, Samdha Nikaya, chapter 27. So according to Kilesa Sanyota, what is renunciation? Abandoning desire and lust in 6 internal sin species and 6 external sin species is called renunciation. The same definition but different dimension from different point of view. But here, renunciation means if you do not have a desire or lust. In other words, if you do not have a lobha regarding with what you see, what you hear, form, sounds, smell, taste, touch, and mental object. If you do not have any lust or desire for them, that's renunciation. Then eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind. These are internal 6 sin species. If you do not have a desire and lust toward 6 internal bases, so that will be renunciation. The most important point here is no desire, no lust, no greed. So that will be renunciation. Then we quote the sutta. When a bhikkhu has abandoned the mental corruption, but here the mental corruption means defilements. In those 6 cases, it may be internal sin species or external sin species. His mind inclines to renunciation. If you abandon mental corruption, so that means defilements in those internal or external bases, his mind inclines to renunciation. A mind fortified by renunciation becomes weedy in regard to those things that are to be realized by direct knowledge. Direct knowledge. So here, let me, when you are experiencing something with your internal basis or external basis, there's no desire, there's no lust, or no, there's no greed. So that will be renunciation. The most important thing here is lobha. Actually, I hope that you already understand the definition of renunciation, but we use the reference to explain that. So in this way, what I'm talking is very meaningful and with the evidence. Otherwise, you may confuse. Am I talking without any reference like this? Then I want to use the explanation of renunciation by Lady Seattle. Lady Seattle is a famous famous Buddhist scholar in Myanmar, and he wrote so many books. So this is from his book, The Noble Eightfold Path, and its factors explained. And number one, the mental state where there is absence of greed, lobha. The mental state where there's no lobha, and the ability, therefore, to renounce the 5 sense pleasures. That is, pleasant sights, forms, pleasant sounds, pleasant smells, pleasant tastes, and pleasant touches. So regarding with these 5 sense pleasures, there's no greed, there's no lust, there's no desire. So that is called renunciation. That's the first definition. The same as Nikaya. Another one, it is ability to renounce attachment to the 5 aggregate or mind and body. There's two techniques. So when you're 5 aggregate, so when you are experiencing your body, when you are feeling, when you're feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness, there's no greed. You practice letting go, and you practice renunciation. That's called renunciation. Another one is the mind and body. Actually, it's the same, only the terms are different. So regarding with the 6 sense bases or 5 aggregate or mind and body, whatever term you use, the main point here is no greed, no lobha. So that will be renunciation. Then we'll go further. Renunciation in Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma gives an interesting definition of renunciation. It's very interesting. Vibhanga, second Abhidhamma text. It said that all the wholesome states are the element of renunciation. Nekkhamma dhatu. All the wholesome states are the element of renunciation. That is my understanding. So that means all the good deed, dana, sila, and bhavana can be called as a renunciation or letting go. I will explain that. All the wholesome states. So that means all the wholesome things Dana is good, Sila is good, Bhavana is good. These are called renunciation, according to this definition. It's correct. When you give something to somebody, if you have a greed or lobha, something that you share, you cannot share, you will take it back. Suppose you are thinking to share your food to somebody. Then you think that, wow, if I share, I cannot eat. Lobha, lobha. Then you cannot renounce what you have. So dana, if you are doing dana, at least the moment you have thinking to do dana, there's no lobha. The moment you give away, there's no lobha. But after you give away, lobha may arise. Regret, or is wrong to give, share to give. So here, whenever you do dana, it need, renunciation on letting go. If you do not have a letting go, you cannot give away, you cannot renounce. So that means because of renunciation, you do dana. The same thing, you keep precept, the same thing, But of course, there are some precept, you do it because of compassion and loving kindness, not because of renunciation. But some of the sila, because of renunciation. Suppose, no drinking alcohol, no drinking alcohol. Then you have a craving and greed toward the alcohol. You cannot help drinking. Then you decided, I will not drink today. Then you renounce desire to drink, It needs renunciation. So that means if you do sila, that means renunciation, because of renunciation. The same thing, meditation, meditation. So before you sleep, you meditate. Even though you are very sleepy, you stay trying. But if you have a craving towards sleeping, no, you cannot meditate, For that reason, it needs a certain degree of renunciation or letting go to practice renunciation, to do dana sila bhavana. So according to this definition, of course, Abhidhamma gives many other definitions as well, similar to the Sutta. So this one is the Abhidhamma definition. So wherever good deed you do, it need a certain degree of letting go. Then you come to class. You have to let go your desire to go somewhere, So that is a renunciation, renunciation. For that reason, I want to share, importance of letting go and happiness. I think many of you already know it, taught by Ajahn. Importance of letting go. In other words, we can how to say that letting go versus happiness. If you let go a little, you will have a little happiness. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of happiness. If you let go completely, you will be completely happy. No bondage at all. No fetter at all. Wherever you go, whenever you are, wherever you do, always happy. No unhappiness at all. So unhappiness came in because you cannot let go something. You hold and you grab something, Suppose somebody criticized this morning. You grab, what he or she said. You cannot let go. Then wherever you think about that, suffering, suffering. So for that reason, if you let go a little happiness. let go a lot of happiness. If you can let go completely, complete happiness, that is Nibbana. That's Nibbana. Okay, any question? Okay, question.
Bhante, I think as a lay person, we have a lot of responsibility, possession, commitment. How to let go completely and be completely happy?
Very
Just
good.
wonder.
Yeah.
I think it's unless you go homelessness.
Next week, we will talk about one soda. So one of the famous disciple of the Buddha, Lepasin, called Taposa. He also said the same thing with what you said. As a Lepasin, we enjoy sensual pleasures. So he said that renunciation or letting go is like a precipice for us. You know? It's very, precipice. You understand what I say? Precipice. It's very deep click. Precipice. Renunciation. Because you have to renounce sensual desire. But of course, it is different level, different level. So we will touch on that later. So as a lay person, as you said, a lot of responsibility. Actually, as a man, a lot of responsibility. Same thing. It depends, Of course, as a lay person, a lot of, we call it fattas. A lot of attachment. It's quite natural. For that reason, Taposa, he said that renunciation or letting go is a dividing line between a lay person and monastics. It's a dividing line. The difference between, as a lay person, it's all right to have such attachment, such a craving, it's all right. But the most important thing is not to have a unwholesome and unhealthy attachment. But if we know three types of right intention, you can apply in your job, in your family. Suppose as a housewife, you have to cook, right? You have to cook. When you cook, you put not only you put loving kindness and compassion. When you cook loving kindness and compassion, because you love your family, you love your children, you want them to eat a very good food. Then you cook with the loving kindness and compassion. That is right intention. Then that is very good. If it is say is a good deed. So I always say that we can sell something with the four loving kindness and compassion, not lobha, dosa, moha. No. Of course, when we do business, we need to have a little bit of profit. No. We must profit, but you can take some amount of profit. But you do something. Suppose you are restaurant owner. Then when you prepare food, full of loving kindness and compassion, you do it. Then good deed. You are not doing with the lobha and dosa, no. Lobha and dosa. You want them to eat a good food. You can take some profit, it's okay, but it's not a lobha. So we can practice, I think, little by little, such way. Even a housewife and a householder, then you can practice to do something, to do everything with the three three type of intention. Renunciation can be practiced. Any type of wholesome deed is called renunciation according to Abhidhamma. Then you do dana, sila, bhavana, while you are as a lay person. That's called renunciation.
Bhante, regarding renunciation, sometimes, people have to go through the pain in order to let go. Just like you're holding a very hot charcoal, only when you feel the heat, the pain, then you let go. People always turn to learn the bad thing. So ultimately, we can say we want to have wholesome thought, but sometimes the unwholesome also can teach us something as well, if you look at it in a very positive manner.
You can see unwholesome thing
very objectively.
Yeah, because of right view. Because of right view or wisdom. So that right view and wisdom has the ability to take lesson from the unwholesome things. That's, right view and the wisdom is good. So to conclude our talk here, thank you for all your questions, very good questions. And also, today we talk about right view based on Sammāsaṅkappa. Sammāsaṅkappa, we can summarize into 3 right view regarding with the karma and their root. Number 2, right view about 4 noble truths. Number 3, right view about dependent originations. So then today we talk about right intention. 3 type of right intention. Number 1, renunciation. Number 2, non-away. Number 3, harmlessness. 3 right intention. So today we talk about what is renunciation. Not finished yet. So we'll continue next week. So thank you so much. Let's conclude our lesson. Yovaratam bhavaro manuchesu sakyamuni bhagavakattakecho paragato bala viriya samangi dan sukatam saranathamupemi ragavi ragamaninjamasokan dhamma masangata mapatikulan marurami mambakuna suvipadan dhammami mansara nathamupemi yatachadena mahapalamahu chatusu susisu purisayugesu atacha bogala dhammatasate sangamimamsaranathamupemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.